Alright, today we're going to show you how to change strings on a bow. This bow here is about 3 pounds off, string stretch. This is Justin's bow, so we're going to take and get this all situated, and we're going to show you how to do it. Alright, we're using the Easy Green bow press. You can get these from Last Chance Archery. Make sure your bow is completely in the arms, and just get it to where the strings are loose. You can adjust it as you go. We're going to start first with the shooter string. Alright, your shooter string, and notice there's serving in the middle right here with your weights, shooting weights right there. So it's pretty easy to find. And he's nice enough to put a piece of thread right here where your peep goes, so you know which way is up. So you can start right here, take the string off. Now I always do one string at a time. I don't tear the bow down all the way. That way you don't lose where you're at. Put the string right back on the way it was. Bring it down. And make sure you're pulling on the right string there. Take it off. Now that one's free. Now because we have string stretch, obviously it's going to be tighter now than what the other one was. Make sure it's always all the way into the grooves here on the end. So then this one here will be a Y string, and you have right here, it's a drop away rest, so you can take and just trim. This should be served in. I always serve mine in. Just cut that little bit of serving. Make sure take your drop away, unhook it. Find that cable, comes down here, attaches there. Alright. So you're just going to run this one the same way. Now, with your cable guide system here, you want to make sure that you're in the right groove. So we know that this is the outer one. So run right through the outer one. Bring it down. Put it right back where that other string was. Quite a bit of stretch on them old strings. Alright, now that one's free. You grab the next string, another control cable. And then on top cam. Now this one here is going to be served quite a bit. That tells you which way direction it is because it's got to go through these roller cams. So I run that in here. Find where it attaches. Okay, now you have to bring that down back through this bottom or the inside cable track. And then find where it is here. This one here goes on the inside of the spindle, so that's pretty easy. So we're going to pull that tight, bring it around. Maybe. Put a little more tension on the bow so we get some slop in this cable. Alright. Now that one's important that you go out. Make sure you follow where these were originally. And then when you go to put tension back on the bow, do it a little bit at a time. Check, make sure all your cables are where they're supposed to be as you put the tension back on the bow. Again, you should be able to check yourself here at this cable guide system to make sure that you have the string on right. It's going to be all served all the way through on both sides because it's running on those cables. Check, make sure everything's where it's supposed to be. Tighten it up. Now the bows should be completely strung now. Okay? Now I always go through one more time, make sure all the cables are where they're supposed to be, make sure they're in the tracks on the cable guide system. Pull it back real slow and put it and let it go. Now you know that everything's set in the grooves and it did rotate correctly. So I put it back in here. Alright, so now you don't have your peep in here, you got to put your peep back in. Put a little bit of tension on your bow. Now, a cheating way of doing this is you're going to find your serving. Oh, serving's off on this one here. So, we're just going to have to go and adjust it. That's okay, it makes it more of a help for you guys. So you grab this thread, make sure you separate your strings. Pull them open. Okay, that's where your peep goes. So you take your old string, if you want to use the same peep, take the peep out, put it back in the string. Now this here you'll be able to slide it up and down a little bit and we'll serve that in later. Put a little bit of tension on the string so it helps hold that peep in place. Alright, next is your drop away rest. You're going to find the down cable, which if you go off of your old strings, it should be the one with the Y. Of course, it's the one that fell. Alright, so you can see right here, I don't know if you can see that, You can see where I cut the serving on it, so you know, because this is the Y cable, that's your down cable. So you find your Y cable, it's this outside, or the outside one. Come down just a little ways, put some tension or compression off the bow, separate the string. It's nice with these two color strings because you can just do it evenly. Take your drop away rest string, slip it in there, and pull it. Make sure it's all the way through. Put tension back on your bow. Not that much. There we go. Alright, so we have our Peep, got our drop away rest. Now we're ready to set that drop away rest. What we're going to do is we're going to take the bow out of the bow press. Okay, you're going to pull it back. And then release. Now pulled that drop away rest string out just a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull it again. Make sure we get complete rotation on this drop away rest. And there it is. So that's our set point for that. We got a little bit we can trim off the string, which is good. Or we can take and we can drop it down a little bit further, which I think is what we're going to do. So pull this back out. And we're going to take and we're going to put it right down here. So you separate the string down here. Just like so. Alright. We're going to take just a little bit of serving. I always cut a piece of serving about 3 to 4 inches long. Fold it in half so you have a loop on the end of it. And then I'm going to run my serving right around the top of this just to start with. When you do the serving, what I do is I put it around the string and then loop it around the string one time and then run the end. You're going to run that down alongside your string, just like that. Now you can pull on your serving string. Because this is just for the drop away rest, we don't have to have a long serving on it. So we're going to take and go around maybe 5 or 6 times. Again, this is just for the drop away rest, so it doesn't have to be very many times. And then take and pull that down. Just like so. Now you can get yourself about 8 to 10 inches of string here. Make sure you have this little tail still on the end. Now I'm going to take and I'm going to pull this bow back again. Make sure that we're at the right point. And then we get the full lift out of that drop away rest. That's the main thing. Alright, good. So now you can finish this little serving area. Bring your longer string down on the bottom side. And I always loop it around just one time to get me started. Okay. Now that 3-inch piece that we cut before. You're going to lay that right alongside, serve over top of it with the loop down. Again, about 5 or 6 wraps. Okay, so now you have the loop from the serving. I move the camera so you have a better look at this. Okay, so you have the loop from that 3-inch piece. This is the piece that was originally on the top. This is the string that you just got done serving with. So you're going to take and you're going to put this inside of that loop. Just like so. Okay, pull that tight. Now this is the piece from the top. We're going to put that through the loop. Just like that. And then these are the 2 pieces from that little 3-inch piece. And you just take and you pull on that. Pliers. It's going to pull all those pieces through, make that nice and tight, just like that. Now that drop away rest is served in. So you can take scissors, snip those. Now you only want about a 1/4 inch of string for this next step. Turn your string so they're pointed out away from these other ones. Touch them off with the lighter. And now that's served in. Alright, we're going to put the bow in this bow vise now. The hoits with the air shock system, you got to take that air shock off of your bottom limb. Alright, the air shock off, you put this right in your bow vise. Tighten it down. There you go. Alright. So what I do now is I like get yourself a level. You're going to put it right on the shelf of the bow. You want to make sure that this tighten down. Now this is where you're going to build the whole base of what you're doing. So you want to get your bow nice and level. Tighten that down. And you come in here with an arrow, if I can find one in here. Put your arrow on the string, and then pull your rest up like it's being activated by your draw. And we're going to put a cheater spot on there. Just grab a knock point, slide it on your string. That'll kind of help keep your arrow where it needs to be. If you need to tighten it up, tighten it up just a little bit. Just enough to where you can still slide it around. Pull your string up, and right now I can see it's way uphill. So I'm going to push that arrow up just a little bit. Alright. Then I'm going to take and double check, make sure that my bow hasn't moved. Just a little bit. Right there. That's dead level. Put the arrow on there. Activate the draw. Now you can take the level again, set it right on top of the arrow. I like these little torpedo levels because they have a groove in the bottom. You put that right on the arrow. Right there's level. So now that arrow is perfectly level to the shelf of the bow. And then this is our knock point. So now we're going to show you how to tie a D-loop. Alright, so when we left this, we left it as this was our top of the knock point. This is where the arrow goes. So what you do is you take your D-loop material, and for the first part of it I always make a V, slide it underneath the string, the long side up, take both pieces and push them through just like that. And it should look like a little butterfly, is what I call it anyway. Just like that. And you're going to take and you're going to rotate that up and kind of cinch it down a little bit. Okay, so that holds that. Now you can go as far as going ahead and melting that, and just take your lighter, get it warm, push down on it, kind of make a mushroom, and then when you tighten it down it'll hold right inside that knot. Okay, so now for the top side, this knock point is actually holding our spot, so we can take that knock point off. Now you take your D-loop, you're going to fold it over. This side's a little bit trickier, but it's easy. Take your D-loop, make a loop, run it through, around, and then back, just like so. Again, flip it over, you should have that butterfly. Now, depending on what they like for a D-loop length, I usually keep mine just for the jaws of the release to be able to fit in there where it doesn't interfere with the knock. So you can pull that tight on the top string and then reset it. Just like so. Okay, so now you have your D-loop made. Trim off the excess. Turn it so it's up away from your string, and I always take and tap on it, get that to flutter out, unravel a little bit. I always roll that over, take your lighter, again you're going to warm that up, let it melt, mushroom it out. Now before you take the bow from this area here, get yourself a bar or something. I use an Allen wrench usually. Put it in there, push down on the string and back on the D-loop, and then that lets you know that that knot there is set. Alright, so now we go set the bow back up, make sure that everything's level again, and then we'll move on to the Peep. Alright, so the bow's back up in the upper position. We're going to take the arrow off for right now, put our level back in here, set the level of the bow right there. Get it better than that. There we go. So now we know the bow's level, put our arrow back in, activate the drawstring of the drop away rest, put our level back on, Now it looks like we had moved just a little bit, so we can pull down on this, create just a little bit of gap inside of that D-loop. Whoop, not that much. Activate that again. Go down just a little bit further. Bring the top of the knot with you. Perfect. Once you get the bow dead set level from shelf to arrow, that part of it's good. And we'll check center shot here in a little bit. But now we can set the peep where you can have Justin draw the bow back. Make sure this peep's set in place where he can still see out of it, or where he can see out of it, and then we'll serve this peep in. Alright, so Justin's going to draw the bow back. While he's doing that, then I can set this peep where he needs it to be. Higher, lower.
Not bad, maybe a touch high. Not bad.
Alright, so now we'll take and we'll serve this peep in where he needs it to be. Alright, take your 3-inch piece of serving material, lay it on here. And then you can clamp it into place like so. Alright, so now you have that loop. Your tags are pointed down. Now you take your serving tool, lay the string out with the tag up. You can start wrapping from there. Get yourself 3-4 wraps on here, and then you can start going the other way. There's 3. And slide them down like so. So you have that space. Then you could take and start working your way back up and over. This is just to hold a peep. This isn't to shoot off of, so it doesn't have to be real big or long as far as the length of the serving. Get to the other side, draw yourself out some material. Now you're going to cut this and hold on to this piece here, just like so. Now you have the tag of what you just served. You have the tag of the beginning of the serving, and then you have the loop from the 3-inch piece. You're going to stick those through that loop, grab the tags of the loop, and you're going to pull all that serving back through. Grab pliers. Now you can pinch on that serving that you just made. We're going to take and we're going to pull that nice and tight. That pulls all that serving real tight, locks it in like so. Take your serving, turn it up, trim off that little bit of extra. We're going to take and melt those in place. Don't let that fire get to your string. Hit it with your finger before it does. Alright, now we're going to serve the bottom of the string the same way we did the top. Hopefully with less complications. find our 3-inch piece and lay it in here. Now you're going to have the loop down. Put your tags right inside the Peep, like so. It's your tag. Your tag's going to be pointed up or down to the bottom cam, like so. And you start wrapping from top to bottom. One more. Push those up. Now we can hop them, start working our way the opposite direction. Okay, so you can see we got about 1/4 inch of serving there. We're going to cut this off, holding onto that string. Now we have this tag and the tag that we started with. We're going to take and we're going to put both those through that loop again, just like so. Now we have our tags inside of that Peep. Pull those out, get some tension on here, and pull towards the Peep itself, pulling those strings through, just like so. Grab our pliers, grab the both strings. Now we're going to take and we're going to cinch that up nice and tight, just like that. That's how you serve in your Peep. Trim them off about 1/4 inch high. Take your lighter, touch them off. And now this Peep's tight in. So we have our D loop, we have our Peep, we have our rest. So all we have left now is to put the kisser button on, which we can do when Justin draws it back. At this point here, the bow's still in the bow press though. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this opportunity to put some tension on, or take some relief off the strings by putting pressure on the bow press. Now everything's all loose. And the number one thing that you can do for your strings is use some bow wax. This here is some Boeing archery bow wax. It's the tacky kind. I like that. You're just going to take and you're going to press that on and really work it in now that you have this bow press or bow in the press. Now you know it's getting into those strings real good. And just do the whole bow that way. You don't have to get it on your serving areas, but just the open string areas. This will help with waterproofing your strings in case you get caught out in the rain. Plus it helps just lubricate and keep that string from dry rotting, which is the case with a lot of bows. A lot of bows I see that the strings are just starting to dry rot because they haven't been waxed. It's kind of like tires on your truck. Just a simple, easy maintenance thing that you can do, and you don't even have to have a bow press, but it helps if the bow is in a press, because now you can press it down into those strings and you know you're not just getting it on the surface. Alright, so everything that is not served now has been waxed. Oh, got our yoke here. Get those. Alright. Strings waxed, everything's on. Get the kisser button put on, and then we'll show you guys how you check for center shot. Alright, so now we're going to put the kisser button on. We're just going to slide it on the string to begin with. Placement's going to normally be down by the D loop, but we'll just slide it on the string. Put the clamp on lightly. Just to kind of help hold it onto the string. Anytime you pull a bow back, make sure you have an arrow in it. I have a target set up in the corner over here that he can aim at when he draws back, just in case the release fails or the D-loop comes untied or whatever. Always keep an arrow in there. You don't want to dry fire your bow. So.
Or hit it on the vise.
Or hit it on the vise.
Down just a hair. Yep.
Good. And all you do is just cinch that up. Alright. So now we're going to show you how to do the center shot. Basically all we're going to do is we're going to take the sight completely off the bow. I have a laser apparatus we'll put into the sight mounts, and we're going to run that sight run that laser all the way down the arrow and make sure that it's square and shooting right off the string and not kick to one side or the other. So we'll set the bow up in the vise and we'll get back to you. Alright, so you're going to remove your sights. I already removed some of the screws. Take your sights off. And now I realize that everybody's not going to have this, but this is just a way of getting it that much more accurate. You can measure off of the riser and then paper tune. This just saves a little bit of time because it's going square to the riser and you'll be able to shoot straight down the arrow. So you take your arrow, put it into your D-loop. Then you're going to activate this drop away rest, because that arrow is going to fall right into that V of that rest. Turn your laser on. We're going to take it and we're going to find it. Hold that for me. Okay. Take it and we'll run this out. Alright. So now our laser's in the middle of the arrow there. I'm going to run it back towards where Justin's at and get it on the string. Just a little bit further to go. Alright, so now I'm on the string. The laser's set dead center of the string, and I'm going to run this down. And we are off. About a 1/4 inch. So that means that the rest here is not square to the riser. So we're going to take, we got to loosen up our set screw or our bolt on the rest. Alright, so we're going to take and we're going to loosen up this screw. This holds the windage. Maybe. Been in there a little while. Alright. We're just going to take and we're going to pull this arrow over, or pull this rest over, or push it over, looks like, to where we get that laser dead center of that arrow shaft. All the way down, just like, gotta go just a little bit. That's perfect right there. So now we know that that's perfect. Come around here. We're going to tighten this back up. Now we know that that center shot is good all the way down. It's right dead center of the arrow, all the way back to the string. Alright, so now all you gotta do is just put your sight back on, and then the bow itself is ready to tune outside. Alright, we're back outside. Got the bow. We just went through changing all the strings, and we actually had to move the rest. So now we're going to check it. We put a leaf on the deer target. Now we're only shooting at 10 yards, just to make sure that we move back to 20 yards or 30 yards, and it's way off. You know, obviously I've got livestock around here, so got our backstop up. We're gonna see how far that little bit of adjustment on that rest moves that arrow. Obviously, move the arrows just a little bit, or move the rest a little bit, so the arrows are shooting to the left. So what we're going to do is, when you adjust archery sights, you chase the arrow. So if your arrow is obviously like this, if it's shooting to the left, then you're going to move your sight to the left, and vice versa. If it's shooting to the right, you're going to move your rest, or your sights to the right. So we're going to take, and this is a micro adjust, which is really nice. We're going to let it out. We're going to move it just one line, because we are at 10 yards. It's going to take a little bit more movement than, say, if you were shooting back at 30 yards. So we'll go ahead and we'll try this. Alright, now we're set up at 20 yards, shooting at that leaf. You can adjust that peep with your D-loop too. You twist your D-loop back around. Grouping good, just a little bit right. We moved the sight just a little bit too much, it looks like. Man, those are straight though. Go ahead and adjust your sight. We'll give it a true test here in a second. So what'd you do, Justin?
I brought it back. We're shooting just a little bit right, so we chased it back to the right just about a half a line. It was just off, just a hair. About dead on right there.
Looks pretty good. Last one was you. Alright, clear down range. Alright, while Justin's going to pull his arrows, anytime you start tuning a bow, the properly tuned bow should shoot field points and broadheads at the exact same. So we know that we're hitting the leaf with the field points. So now I have a NAP Hellraiser fixed blade, 100 grain, just like the 100 grain field points that he's shooting. And we're going to give it a test to see if the bow is properly tuned with the laser and everything. This broadhead should hit exactly where the field points were hitting. So, unless it's him.
Could be me. Ready?
Yep. Boom.
Alright, so we went back in and we double checked our poundage. We had lost 3 pounds. I had noticed this last couple weeks I was shooting at 32 pounds at home, or 32 yards at home. I was having to use my 40 pin, so knew there was an issue right away. So we had ordered these strings. Tim went through, showed you how to install them, just got it tuned, went back, 65 pounds on the money. So it's definitely something don't shy away from. Don't keep adjusting and just get your strings done. And it's maintenance, preventative maintenance, make sure your bow's shooting good. So that's it. Yeah, if you like us, subscribe. Thank you.